Welcome to today's lesson. Our learning target today is I can find the lowest common multiple of two numbers. So today we're going to learn about what a multiple is. And then tomorrow we're going to use the lowest common multiple in our second strategy for adding and subtracting unlike fractions. Let's get started. What is a multiple? Well, a multiple is any number that you get, a product, when you multiply one number times another. So let's look at an example here. Here we have the numbers 2 and 3. For now, let's just focus on the number 2, okay? What I'm going to do is I'm going to write the number 2 right here next to this first column in our multiples table. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to multiply this 2 times 1. And the first multiple of 2 is 2 because 2 times 1 is 2. Now I'm going to multiply this 2 times 2. What's 2 times 2? 4. 4 is also a multiple of 2 because it's a number that we get when we multiply 2 times another number. Now I'm going to multiply this 2 times 3. 2 times 3 is 6. 6 is a multiple of 2 because 6 is a number that we get when we multiply 2 times another number. All right, I'm going to pause here, and now I'm going to move to the 3. I'm going to write the 3 here next to this second row, and I'm going to start finding some of the multiples of 3. Okay? So first I'm going to multiply 3 times 1, and I'm going to get 3. 3 is a multiple of 3. Then I'm going to multiply 3 times 2, and I'm going to get 6. 6 is a multiple of 3, and pause. Do you notice something? We have here a lowest common multiple. We found it. 6 now appears in both lists of multiples. 6 is a multiple of 2, and 6 is a multiple of 3. And it's the first multiple we've come to. It's the smallest one, which means it is the lowest common multiple of 2 and 3. 6 is the lowest common multiple of 2 and 3. We found it. So I'm going to circle it with green, and we are done our search. We're finished. Let's try another one. Let's find the lowest common multiple for the numbers 8 and 10. All right, so like we just did, I'm going to write the number 8 here next to the first row, and I'm going to write the number 10 next to the second row. All right, so let's go back and find some multiples of 8. Let's see here. 8 times 1, well, that's 8. 8 times 2, that's 16. 8 times 3, that's 24, and I am so glad I've practiced my math facts this year because this would be much harder if I didn't know them already. But I always could use the multiplication table. All right, now let's move to the number 10. Let's find some multiples of 10. Let's see, 10 times 1, that's 10. 10 times 2 is 20. 20 is a multiple of 10. 10 times 3 is 30. 30 is a multiple of 10. We can pause here. Do we see any common multiples yet? Is the same multiple showing up on both lists yet? No, not yet. So we need to keep going. I'm going to switch back over. I'm going to keep finding some multiples of 8. So let's go to 8 times 4. 8 times 4 is 32. And let's see here. 8 times 5 is 40. And oh, guess what? I think I know what the lowest common multiple for 8 and 10 is going to be. Do you? Well, we can figure it out pretty quick by finding one more multiple of 10, can't we? Let's find the last multiple of 10 that we're going to need, 10 times 4. And 10 times 4 is 40. And there you have it. Look at this. 40 is now a common multiple. In other words, it's something that the numbers 8 and 10 have in common. 40 is a multiple of both. 8 times 5 and 10 times 4. It is our lowest common multiple because it's the smallest one. It's the first one we got to when we started multiplying times 1, times 2, and times 3. We're done. We found the lowest common multiple for 8 and 10. All right, let's try one more. And this time I'm going to get you involved, okay? First, we're going to write our two numbers next to these two rows. So I'm going to write 12, our first number, next to this top row. And I'm going to write 15, our second number, next to this bottom row. All right. Go ahead and why don't you find the first, find the first two multiples of each number. Go ahead and do that right now. Okay, so did you find as the first two multiples for each number, 12 times 1 is 12, and 12 times 2 is 24. And let's see here, let me check my 15 times 1 is 15, and 15 times 2 is 30. I hope so. Those are the first two multiples for each number. Now, do we see any multiples that they have in common? No, not yet. So let's keep going. I'm going to flip back over to 12 now. I'm going to do 12 times 3. Find the next multiple, and that multiple is 36. I'm going to do 12 times 4. And that multiple is 48. And I'm going to do 12 times one more. Why not? 12 times 5. And that multiple is 60. All right. Now, I'm going to keep going because I have a clue here in the multiples that I have for 15 so far, and I think I might have found it. What do you think that lowest common multiple might be? Do you know yet? All right, let's check it out. All right, so 15 times 3, that's 45. Oop, wrong color ink. 45. And 15 times 4 is 60. And there you have it. 60 is the first multiple that 12 and 15 have in common. And therefore, it's our lowest, smallest common multiple, 60. We've done it. We found common multiples for 3 sets of numbers. And that is the work you're going to do today. You're going to find the lowest common multiple for sets of numbers. Tomorrow, we'll apply this to the method of using lowest common multiples to add and subtract unlike fractions. Today's learning target is I can find the lowest common multiple of 2 numbers. Let's do this, and let me know if you need help.